What's going on, Canes fans, and welcome to a new series on the channel called Running and Venting with Coop. That's right, we've upgraded the walking and venting to running and venting. I'm just playing, guys. There ain't no way that I would do that, because instead of 8 and 10 minute videos, I'm cracking myself up, it would be like a 30-second video because I would be out of breath. So welcome to episode number 8 of Walking and Venting with Coop. It's exactly what it sounds like it is. If you're new here, I walk along the edge of my property here in East Tennessee, and I vent about hot topics when it comes to the Miami Hurricanes. Dang, y'all, like seriously, like I'm gonna have to edit this video because I'm gonna have to take a break and then come back and keep filming. But I'm gonna push myself. We're gonna keep rolling. And what a hot topic we have today. Yes, you're welcome. Another episode about head coach Manny Diaz. And I know that so many of you are sick and tired of talking about Manny. Trust me, I get the DMs, I see your comments. But that's exactly what this series is about. It's venting, not specifically about Manny, even though most of my episodes have been about him, but it's venting about hot topics. And of course, Manny being on the hot seat, Manny potentially getting fired, Manny this, Manny that. It's the hot topic. So that's what we're talking about once again this week. And what I want to say, let me just go ahead and kick this off with a bang. I don't think that you can justify firing Manny Diaz if he wins out the rest of the season, which so far he's on a roll. 3 wins in a row, 2 of those being against top 20 opponents. Yes, they were all close games, but they were wins. Now, I want to make it known that I'm not saying I agree or disagree with this. You guys know that I've still mostly been kind of standing firm in the paint, and I'm like, we still probably need to get rid of Manny, bring in, another athletic director and this and that, because my stance has been, don't get rid of Manny unless you're going to also replace the athletic director, because then that's just creating a whole nother mess. It's just more problems. So I'm not saying which side of the fence that I stand on. I'm putting that out there that I don't think truly that you can justify firing him if he wins out. And I want to know how you guys feel about it. What do you think? Are you standing firm and saying, I don't care what happens, Coop, I don't care what Manny does, I want him gone? Or are you one of the fans that's like, well, maybe we need to step back and let this play out, feel it out, and then evaluate things during the off season, and then maybe go from there? Because here's what I want to do. I wrote some notes for this one too. That's how you know it's real. I made some notes, and I want to give you guys a somewhat far-fetched hypothetical, but possibly not as far-fetched as we might think, and then see what you think about it after I say this. So, my somewhat far-fetched hypothetical scenario here. Imagine Manny Diaz ends on an 8-game win streak. Now, keep in mind, he started 2-4. We all know this, but ends on an 8-game win streak, ending with a record in 2021 at 10-4. So that does mean, yes, that we would make it to the ACC championship game, assuming that everything else fell into place, and we won the ACC championship game. I realize that sounds crazy. I'm not saying it will happen, but could it happen? It could. It could. And I want to know how you guys feel about Manny if that were to happen, keeping in mind that, technically speaking, when you break it down, we had like the 2nd or 3rd toughest schedule in college football this year in the country. Also keeping in mind that that's meaning that we would also win our bowl game, because we're not talking playoffs or national championships or anything like that, but we would win our bowl game, and that would probably be possibly our biggest bowl win in 10 years? Now, that would also mean, if we want to take a look at Manny's record so far as the head coach of the Miami Hurricanes, In 2019, we had that pitiful 6-7. Lost to a bunch of teams that we shouldn't have lost to. Things were looking grim and bad, bro. We were like, we messed up. 2020 rolls around. It's the COVID season. We go from 6-7 to 8-3. So improvement, kind of sort of a step in the right direction when you just purely look at it from a wins and losses perspective. So not actually going and breaking down who we lost to and how much we won by or how much we lost by, just the record. So from 6-7 to 8-3 to the hypothetical scenario of ending at 10-4 after starting 2-4. Or, you know, if you want to say, you know, let's take away one of those and say we don't go to the ACC championship game because things don't fall into place, but we still win our bowl game. So I had to cut the video real quick because I had to double check my math because I'm throwing a lot of numbers out there and I'm confusing myself. So what I was going to say is, assuming that, you know, we don't go 10-4, we actually end up just playing in a bowl game. Then best case scenario, we end up at 9-4. Now, if we're purely just looking at wins and losses, I'll read it off one more time. 6-7, 8-3, 9-4, or 10-4. When you're looking at it purely from wins and losses, that's getting better technically and improving each year. Is it not? Wait. Don't tell me, but Coop, we lost to FIU. Coop, we lost to LA Tech. Coop, we lost to a Virginia team that we shouldn't have lost to this year. We should not have lost to North Carolina. And this, I'm talking purely wins and losses. That is all we're looking at. Is that a step in the right direction? Is that positive improvement, even if it's baby steps? Technically speaking, yes, you can't deny that. You can't, because it's gotten better. Now, again, I'm not saying that we should keep him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it would be hard for them to step back and say, you know what, even though wins and losses has looked better as Manny has been here, we still got to fire you, bro. I'm saying that it could be hard to justify doing that. Now, let's look at some actual negatives then. Let's talk about it for a second. Second post-it note. Let's go. The people who say, you know what, screw it, I want him fired no matter what, even if there is positive progress in the wins and losses. Take a look at the current recruiting class. It stinks. We're sitting at around 61 right now. That's pitiful. Now, you know, National Signing Day is still a ways away. The early signing period, we still got some time. But Manny says, you know what? Don't worry about it. We got the transfer portal. And transfer portal players have produced a lot for us. They've actually been our biggest impact players since the transfer portal has become a thing, which is wild, but it's true. But at the same time, you love to bring in guys that can stay, you know, 3-4+ years, that are Miami guys that you can develop, and you don't want to have to rely on reaching and shopping in that transfer portal. But at the same time, that is, you know, college football today. The transfer portal is huge, and a ton of teams take advantage of it, including us. But it doesn't change the fact that recruiting has kind of been lackluster so far, especially this year with Manny Diaz as the head coach. Another negative would be it took 6 games and injuries to play the better players. We've seen that the young guys do look ready. Now, maybe they weren't ready earlier on in the season. There's a big debate with that because Manny says, you know, hey, they were still trying to wrap their heads around the playbook and this and that. But how much of that is players and how much of that is coaches? So it still took a while to get those younger guys in there. And we might have won, you know, that Virginia game. We might have won that North Carolina game. There was already some younger players injected in there at that point, but there are still some that were not. Would they have made the difference very early in the season? Would we have taken down Michigan State if we hadn't have been playing players that were injured, trying to put them in, or some of the guys because they had seniority? That still seems to be an issue with Manny because his hand was forced to play the younger players, and that's why they're in there right now. It's still an issue. He's still struggling to handedly beat bad teams. It seems like all the games we play under Manny Diaz, with the exception of just a handful, are tight, close games. Teams that we should just take care of, we just can't seem to do it. But that brings me to something that is a negative, but I still want to just question you guys. I want to pose this and ask. Yeah, we shouldn't have lost to LA Tech. Yeah, it's inexcusable to lose to FIU. But how long do you continue to hold that over his head and say that those are a fireable offense when they happened 1 and 2 seasons ago? So I'm not saying they're excusable. You can't forget those, because there's no way we should ever, as the Miami Hurricanes, lose to teams of that caliber. We just shouldn't. But I'm just saying that let's do another hypothetical. This video's been like just a ton of hypotheticals, which I know makes it kind of hard to agree and to follow because these things haven't happened. Not yet anyways, but I'm just saying. Let's say that Manny does go and, we win, we go to the ACC championship game, we win it, we win a good bowl game. And then you say at the end of the season, you know what? We just cannot forget that FIU and LA Tech loss, so you're fired. So many people are going to mistake this video for me siding with Manny Diaz and backtracking and saying that I've changed my mind. The whole point of this video is just me saying it would be hard to justify firing him when the record could possibly be the best record we've had since he's been here. And when you see technically positive momentum and the players continuing to stand up for him and saying, we love that dude, that's our guy, we want to play for him. A scenario where I definitely see it not being a problem, because I'm talking about the higher ups, guys. I'm talking about the guys that would be pulling the trigger to say, you're fired. It would be hard for those guys to justify firing him. A scenario where it really just wouldn't matter, in my opinion, is, again, another athletic director coming in. Because when you bring another guy in, they typically want to bring their people, their guys. Because Manny Diaz wasn't their choice. They would have someone in mind that they want to bring as the head coach. In that scenario, yeah, I think that if I'm not mistaken, if a new athletic director comes in, they have to honor any current contracts. But that doesn't mean that we can't just pay the buyout and send him packing. That would be honoring the current contract. It doesn't mean that Manny has to stay for 5 years if a new athletic director came in. Or even if it's just another guy, the scenario of Blake James staying and someone being over football, I don't know if that's actually realistic or not. Apparently there are schools that have done something similar with people over just specific sports. But if someone comes over and is just over football, then yeah, then they could be like, hey, I got to bring somebody else in because I want my guys, my people to come in here and take over. That's a scenario where I see it being, they could easily justify it no matter what kind of positive momentum we end on. If we end on a high note, ACC championship game victory or just appearance and or a bowl game win, then another athletic director comes in and they could still pull the plug. Yeah, man, because that's not their dude. That's not their guy. That wasn't their choice. So it makes sense in that scenario. But man, I'm just telling you, if Manny goes out on a high note this season, it's going to be tough to justify getting rid of him. And that's just the cold hard facts and the truth, whether you want to hear it or you don't want to hear it. And don't make this video about me picking sides, because it's not. I'm literally not even I'm not picking any sides in this video. I'm posing the question, I'm putting it out there, and I'm just telling you how it is. So that's really all this one was. It was venting about Manny Diaz again. And we're going to see what happens, man. Do I think we could win an ACC championship game? I don't know, because the team that's taking the field right now is a totally different team than we saw early on in the season. And it's week to week, and I don't even know who we would be. I guess it's still going to be Wake Forest as of this moment, at this point in time. I realize that they took an L, but could Miami hang with Wake Forest? Bro, I ain't making no promises. I'm not claiming anything, but I don't know anymore. So it could get kind of wild, man. The way this season is going to wrap up is going to be like a movie. And I just don't even know where to begin or what to think. But please express your opinions down below in the comment section. Thank you guys for always watching these walking and venting videos, because I love them. I need it. It's a beautiful day out here. It's around 65 degrees. The leaves are changing out here in East Tennessee, so it's just nice to get out of the house, walk around, breathe in that fresh air, and just vent and chat with you guys for 10 or 15 minutes. So please comment down below. Don't forget that right now it is look at these mosquitoes, man. They're supposed to be dead. It's cold out here. Don't forget that it is Florida State week. And I need you guys to show me some love, because I uploaded the Florida State diss track yesterday, the We Own Doak. And it's got about 3,000 views on YouTube. So we need to bump that up. Share it. Like it. Talk some trash on that video, because there's only like 2 FSU fans on there. I guess they're that down and out, bro. Like 3 wins on the season. Must be rough. So they just ain't showing up loud and proud. It is what it is. But also don't forget that we'll be doing a call-in show this Friday for the Miami FSU game, and the score prediction prize pool is up to $500. So if you call in and give the right score prediction, the next day I'll text you and I will PayPal, Venmo, Cash App you $500. And I'm being straight up. We ain't playing. A lot of people in the community contributed and helped raise that prize pool up. So I love to see it. What other channel are you going to go to where you can win free t-shirts, free Pokemon cards? Let's go, Baby Shaq. You know what's up. And $500 cash for predicting a score. And we're still just getting started. Thank you guys so much for all the love you've been showing me on the channel. Let's see if we can set this bad boy up back here. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.